Hello and welcome to Sabha TV. You're watching Rajyanama. I'm your host Rajat Kane. The countdown has begun for 17th Lok Sabha, and on 11th April, the first phase of polling will be held on 91 seats in 20 states across the country. This election is special for Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, as both are going for Lok Sabha polls for the first time after bifurcation in 2014. Andhra Pradesh will be voting for its heritage and lost glory, while Telangana has to show that separation has given it a new identity. So how these two states are stacked up in terms of numbers, who are the players and what has been the permutation and combination post the changes after 2014 polls and the bifurcation of the state. For more, we have our colleague Tina Jha with us on the data center. Well, we have with us Tina Jha at the data center. We'll get all the data that's relevant for your understanding in the upcoming Lok Sabha elections.
Thank you, Rajat. So as we talk of the twin states of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana in the studio today, let me first get you the data for the last two Lok Sabha elections in 2009 and also in 2014. First, let's talk about the 2009 Lok Sabha elections, when the Congress party was a force to contend with. The party had won handsomely in the 2004 Assembly and Lok Sabha elections, and that result reflected in 2009 as well. The Congress party went on to win 33 of the 42 seats, with 6 seats going to the TDP, 2 to the TRS, and 1 to the AIMIM. The BJP that year did not win any seat. But 5 years later, the situation had completely changed. The Congress party's tallest leader in the state, Y.S. Rajshekar Reddy, was no more. Remember, he had died in a tragic air crash in 2009. And his son, Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy, had broken away from the party to form YSR Congress Party. The Telangana sentiment had gained ground by then, and the Congress had put into motion the process of the formation of the state. This reflected in the results once again, with the Congress paying the price for the bifurcation, slipping to just 2 seats. The TDP went up to 16, mostly riding high on the angry sentiment against the split, while the YSR Congress Party won 9 seats, and the TRS, which had emerged as the champion of the Telangana cause, managed to win 11 seats. Let's now also take a look at the 2014 results in terms of the states of both Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. When we split the result into Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, the impact of the bifurcation is clearly visible. While the TDP won 15 of the 25 Lok Sabha seats in Andhra Pradesh, the YSR Congress won 8. The Congress bore the brunt of the split the most, winning no seats in the Andhra region, and the BJP here opened its account with 2 seats. The result in Telangana, of course, was very different this time, with the TRS riding strong on the back of its pro-Telangana platform, winning 11 of the 17 seats that became part of the state. The Congress that had engineered the formation of Telangana won just 2 seats. The BJP, TDP and YSR Congress, and also the AIMIM won 1 seat each. Over to you, Rajat.
Well, thanks, Tina, for those detailed graphics. For more on this issue, we have with us in the studio Mr. K. Badrinath, Editor-in-Chief of Financial Chronicle, and Mr. Shekhar Iyer, Senior Journalist. Thank you for both of you for joining us. Mr. Badrinath, I'd like to start with you first. As Andhra Pradesh and Telangana will poll in the first phase, and Andhra will also go for the Assembly elections. We'll discuss the picture of Assembly a little later. But first up, if we talk of the Lok Sabha elections, who do you see I won't say emerging as winner, but which of the parties, which of the players in the state starts with an advantage at the peripheral level?
See, at the peripheral level, the point here is there are only 3 players there if you go for Andhra Pradesh. That is the ruling Telugu Desam, which is led by Chandrababu Naidu, who also is the national party chief and the chief minister there. The second big factor there is YSR Congress, headed by Jagan Mohan Reddy, and who has been getting a lot of traction in terms of, people's following of late.
Right.
And third big factor is Pawan Kalyan, who is an actor turned politician and who has set up a new party called Jan Sena. And he leads a huge, caste combination led by the Kapus and, the backwards. So this is going to be a very interesting election in terms of, the reworked political activity there. And further down, last time, if you recall, like your correspondent was saying, the BJP and Telugu Desam went together. And this time, BJP is going all alone. And the first time, they are trying to make a big entry into the state on their own.
Okay.
In terms of Telangana,
Yeah.
The TRS has been a big party there now. Virtually most leaders from different political parties have moved on to the TRS platform. And the Congress, which has been, for which it has been a huge, fortress kind of a thing, has lost a lot of traction there. And on the other side, the BJP again is there as an emerging force. And in the entire thing, my guess is that Chandrasekhar Rao is supposed to be the undisputed leader there, with his alliance partner this time, with the Majlis, led by OIC.
Right.
So this seems to be the broad scenario there in terms of Lok Sabha polls.
Right.
And Telangana already has finished its assembly elections
polls,
ahead of schedule, and whereas in Andhra Pradesh it is the elections are being held along with Lok Sabha this time. Right. And they're both mostly, there are 3 or 4 factors that go into the elections in Andhra Pradesh. One big factor is the money factor. 2 big regional issues. And third is the caste combinations that you work to get into the saddle. So these are the key, first take kind of issues that will confront or which will determine who is going to rule or be the dominant force going further from now on.
Right. Mr. Iyer, do you see regional parties, which happens to be the main player in these 2 states now, will they play a bigger role in the national elections, or the national issues would dominate the narrative as people vote for the Lok Sabha?
Well, actually these 2 parties, both Telangana Rashtriya Samiti and YSR Congress party, are getting ready for because since assembly elections are also being held in Andhra Pradesh, YSR Congress is looking at a scenario where it will be able to capture power on its own or with some partnership with some other party in Andhra Pradesh, and has enough number of members of parliament from Andhra Pradesh to play a very key role at the center in case any major combination doesn't have enough numbers.
Right.
So therefore, I think what we are seeing now is, for all practical purposes, whether it is Congress party or even the BJP, they are not looking at, rather they are not giving much attention, I would say, both in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. In fact, many of the meetings of these leaders belonging to these parties have been now scaled down, and they are rather investing their energy in other parts. because right now the scene that looks like with TRS dominating the scene in Telangana, and the battle is largely in favor of YSR Congress and Pawan Kalyan, as Mr. Badrinath pointed out, playing the X factor.
Right.
Because he has emerged in as a voice of a community which hitherto did not get much influence in the power structure. His elder brother tried, Chiranjeevi, actor, he was also an actor, he tried with his Praja Rajyam party. That did not click. Now the younger brother has taken over and he has come with his own party, and he has also been getting traction, but he is playing his cards carefully.
Right.
Because he has not been critical of Chandrababu Naidu and not very critical of Jagan also.
Okay. Okay.
So he is looking at a scenario where if he has few MLAs, he can play a role in powerful in government formation in Andhra Pradesh.
Right, right. We will definitely discuss the government formation in the states, but let's now focus on Telangana and the key contest over there. Now, Telangana has quite a few star campaigners, and there are also many key contests which will be watched keenly in the state.
With the TDP staying away from the electoral contests in Telangana, the state is likely to witness a three-cornered contest in the Lok Sabha elections. Key campaigners for the TRS include Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao, his son K.T. Ramarao, daughter Kavita and Harish Rao. The Congress has S. Jaipal Reddy, actor Vijay Shanti and Renuka Chaudhary among its state leaders. Asaduddin Owaisi of the MIM is another significant campaigner. Among the noteworthy contests is the one for the Secunderabad seat that is currently held by the BJP. The constituency has traditionally returned Congress or BJP candidates, but this time around the TRS has the MIM support. 28 candidates are in the fray in Secunderabad. The BJP has fielded G. Kishan Reddy, a 3-time MLA, while the Congress has fielded Anjan Kumar Yadav, a 2-time MP from the seat. The TRS is banking on a young 32-year-old T. Sai Kiran Yadav, son of Telangana Minister T. Srinivas Yadav. While the Congress is handicapped by a series of defections by MLAs and several leaders to the TRS, the BJP is also finding the battle tough, having had to drop incumbent MP former Union Minister Bandaru Dattatreya as a candidate. Dattatreya had won the seat in 1998, 1999 and 2014. In Khammam, Congress candidate Renuka Chaudhary is up against TRS candidate Nama Nageshwara Rao, who recently switched sides from the TDP. Both Chaudhary and Rao have been twice opponents from Khammam in the Lok Sabha elections in 2004 and again in 2009. In 2004, Renuka won the election but lost to Nama Nageshwara Rao in 2009 by more than 1 lakh votes. The Medak Lok Sabha constituency was once represented by former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. As such, it holds a lot of prestige value for the Congress. Both TRS and the Congress are focusing their energies on the seat. The Congress has roped in former MP M. Vijay Shanti to campaign for its candidate. The TRS is banking on the campaign prowess of senior party leader T. Harish Rao. The three-cornered contest in this seat is between TRS MP Kota Prabhakar Reddy, Congress leader Gali Anil Kumar and Bharatiya Janata Party's M. Raghunandana Rao. Both the Congress and the BJP candidates are first-time contenders on this seat.
Right. So, there are quite a few keen contests in Telangana. Mr. Badrinath, I mean, which among the contests you see would be very tight contest? We have like largely it's TRS, but can there be any surprises in Lok Sabha election? As I asked Mr. Iyer that this is Lok Sabha election and it's usually the national issues that possibly dominate the narrative. Do you see that possibility in Telangana, or it will be again the regional party?
My guess is somewhere down the line, the Telangana Rashtra Samiti has peaked in a big way, because in the assembly election,
polls,
they were virtually sweeping across, at least in 18 districts, there was no representation for any political party except the TRS.
Yeah, especially Hyderabad and Nizamabad belt.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is one. Second issue is that my guess is some amount of, lethargy has set into the party.
You mean the TRS?
TRS.
Okay.
And third is, if you recall, only yesterday, the huge LB Stadium in Secunderabad had just 5,000 people when the Chief Minister was supposed to address the public meeting, and finally the Chief Minister did not even attend the meeting. He was so upset with the small crowd that was there. So point here is that some kind of lethargy has set into the ruling TRS, and secondly, there has been a lot of crossovers either ways. Whoever has not got tickets in TRS have moved on to Congress. And some of the best of the Congress and Telugu Desam leaders who were earlier in the United Andhra Pradesh have moved on to TRS. Right. So there is a lot of churning within, and it's like a puzzle. It's going around and round and round. The people who have not. For instance, you talked about Renuka Chaudhary.
Yeah.
She was a good, she held come up, but later she lost also. And now today she is trying her luck again, and she is the best bet for Congress. And on the other side, we have seen Nama Nageshwar Rao. And Nama was earlier the one as Politburo member of Telugu Desam. And he has switched sides. And now he is the TRS candidate there. So point I'm trying to say is, there are a lot of people who have come IRMs and Gayarams are there. And in such a scenario, my guess is that TRS has peaked. And today, it will have to settle for lesser number of seats, though their slogan has been that all 17. But this time, my guess is there will be surprises.
Okay.
Both BJP, if you will not be surprised if BJP makes it in 1 or 2 seats. Okay. For example, Karimnagar, you have a very dynamic young leader there who is supposed to be billed as the next future for BJP in the state. And this guy is he's going whole hog. So, that way, for example, Secunderabad has been a big fortress for BJP. They have changed the candidate.
And areas like Karimnagar, Jaktiyar, Rajana Sisila, they were the places of TRS agitation, and it's the hub. So you're saying that there will be surprise in Karimnagar belt.
Karimnagar is big, and here you have, there has been a Velma domination, basically. Okay. It's a caste domination. But today you have a backward class leader who is fighting on behalf of the BJP.
Right.
And my guess is there will be a big tough fight between TRS and the BJP, and the Congress will be relegated to the third position. And Secunderabad, BJP has taken a gamble. They have retired their old war horse, Mr. Bandaru Dattatreya, who is an undisputed scheduled caste leader. And in its place, you have the state president who lost his deposit in the, who lost in the legislative assembly election.
Right.
So it's a very interesting fight that is slowly, folding out.
Right. So we'll talk more about Telangana and dynamics of its politics over there in terms of who could be the gainer in the Lok Sabha polls. Now, but to understand the politics of Telangana, it's really important or crucial to understand TRS and the phenomenon. Now, for more on that, I have with me Tina Jha. Tina, what does your graphic tells us about the rise of TRS and K. Chandrasekhar Rao?
Well, Rajat, I think in my view, to understand the politics of Telangana, it is important for us to look at the rise of the Telangana Rashtra Samiti in the last 5 years, ever since the state has been formed there. Let me first take you through the result of the Telangana Assembly elections in 2014, when the elections were held concurrently with the Lok Sabha polls that year. That year, riding high on the formation of the state, the TRS won 63 seats. The Congress that had been key in the formation of Telangana came down to 21 of the 119 seats, while the TDP won 15 seats, the BJP got 5, and 15 of the remaining seats were split between the AIMIM, the YSR Congress, and some other smaller parties. K. Chandrasekhar Rao then played a gamble 4 years later, as we all can recall, advancing the assembly elections by 6 months, holding them in December 2018. And Rajat, we all witnessed how the gamble paid off, and KCR's TRS won 88 of the 119 seats. The Congress more or less retained the same number of seats. The biggest loser here was the TDP. It was reduced to only 15 seats. The BJP also came down to just 1 seat. It's also important to remember that this was the election that brought together two traditional rivals, the TDP and the Congress. Remember, they came in alliance to form the Praja Kutumi alliance. After having quit the NDA earlier in the year, the TDP went against what had been till then a basic tenet of the 36-year-old regional party and allied with the Congress. The effect was visible more on the regional party, with its vote share going down considerably. Talking about the 2014 assembly polls, the TRS here grabbed about 34.3% of the votes, 25.2% vote share belonged to the Congress, 14.7% to the TDP, 7.1% to the BJP, 3.8% to the AIMIM, and the rest to other smaller parties. While in 2018, these figures changed dramatically for the TRS and TDP. The TRS ate up into the latter's vote share considerably. The TDP's vote share came down to only about 3.5%, while most of it went to KCR's party, the TRS. Back to you, Rajat.
Well, thanks, Tina. Interesting graphics over there, Mr. Iyer. If I talk of the national parties, while BJP's vote share comparing with 2014 assembly polls and 2018 assembly polls remains intact, Congress vote share increased marginally. So, do you see any role for these two parties in the state for time to come, if not in this election? I mean, if not in this Lok Sabha election?
No, these parties have their own pockets of influence. Now, as far as BJP is concerned, BJP has always had areas in the previously Nizam-ruled districts, where BJP had its own organizational network, which has been intact. Now, what has happened is, there has been a lot of changes in terms of political positioning in the last, I would say, last week in Telangana. For instance, it has been rather a kind of a buzzword that TRS chief Chandrasekhar Rao has good equations with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And in the event of, in the post-poll scenario, in the event of BJP needing some assistance in terms of numbers for forming the government, then TRS would not hesitate. Now, this buzz was more evident because after the assembly election and the way the TRS managed to come back to power, and after the election results, where the TRS went about demolishing the Congress organization. Virtually even some of the MLAs who were elected on Congress ticket joined TRS. They have joined the TRS. But yes, what we are seeing in the last 2 days is, in fact, now TRS has stepped up attack on BJP. And he has been saying kind words about Sonia Gandhi, who is seen as... I saw this phenomenon during assembly polls as well, when Congress party was saying that TRS is nothing but B team of BJP. So there was this brief interregnum where he started attacking the centre as well. So yeah, I saw this smart campaign. And what is interesting is TRS is supposed to be providing moral and material support to Jagan Reddy in Andhra Pradesh. Okay. That's also to be noted. But I do not know whether it is coincidence or there is some pattern. Jagan Reddy has also become soft on Congress, saying that he is willing to forget for all the problems that he faced during the UPA rule. And we hear KCR, K. Chandrasekhar Rao giving television interviews like Jagan has been giving, where he has been attacking severely the Prime Minister to dispel that impression that he has some secret understanding. Now, TRS is in alliance with OSC's MIM party. Yes. Now, OSC, you know, is definitely anti-BJP, and he has been forthright even during his tenure in Lok Sabha, we have seen, on against BJP and against the Prime Minister Modi. Now, this repositioning that I see, and Jagan also we saw in Andhra Pradesh being kind, you know, saying that, you know, I have forgotten that past, that bitter past when cases were slammed against him. The cases that were slammed during UPA's rule, because he wanted to take over his father's mantle. Yes, yes. So, this kind of reposition perhaps indicates the kind of challenges both these parties are facing, where everyone has been saying that these two parties are going to do extremely well. TRS in Telangana and Jagan in Andhra Pradesh. I'll just, I have this very small, surely you just added to it, but is it a bargaining chip from these two parties? Well, given Andhra Pradesh gives 42 MPs to Lok Sabha, and given the strength of these two parties at the hypothetical level, they will score more than 30. And 30 is a huge number
in terms of Lok Sabha government formation. So is it like these two going in tandem, going soft on one party and criticizing the other? Is it a bargaining chip sort of a tactics?
See, before even going to the bargaining chip, Andhra Pradesh, undivided Andhra Pradesh, where you had 42 seats, that was the biggest bastion for Congress to assume power at center.
Till 2009, yes, they won 33 seats.
This part is now, this scenario is gone.
Yes.
So, the Congress weakest point today is Andhra Pradesh, both Telangana as well as the newly carved out Andhra Pradesh, where it will not get more than 10 seats. Even 10 is a big number, even positive.
You mean assembly polls? Yeah.
Second is the point about they're talking about bargaining chip. Bargaining chip is like, yes, only yesterday Jagan Mohan Reddy, as Shekhar pointed out, that he is trying to reconcile with the Congress. And there are also buzz going around that will there be a post-election merger between Congress and Vaisar Congress. So this could be one possibility he is looking at. Second issue is, in terms of TRS, when it comes, he will position himself as an active, dominant Telangana force, which will try and drive a big deal with the central government, whoever comes to power. He will keep his options open. After all, don't forget, he is from the so-called feudal Velma Lord community. And he's like a regional lord, whether one likes it or not. It's an issue, and it's a fact also. So, point is, and second issue here is the grooming of his son as the next chief minister of the state, which has not gone very well with his cousin, Mr. Who is cannot swallow the thing, and his daughter again is an MP.
Yes.
So, point is, it's like a family enterprise, which actually is not working very well with the voters also. That's what I'm saying. On the Telangana sentiment, he has reached a peak, and my guess is he will have to settle for lesser. But let us not forget that he is a strong fighter, mind you, and is a political fighter, and he will drive a big bargain. Whoever comes to power at center, whoever needs his assistance, that is the biggest issue there.
Right. So clearly, there is an interesting and intense battle ahead in Telangana, where we have a main pillar of the politics over there, TRS and other players. Congress decimated but still relevant. BJP on the rise. After the break, we'll take a look at the larger picture of Andhra Pradesh.
₹72,000 to the 20% of the poorest households. What is the workable plan? It doesn't look very clear.
Very clear to us. It may not be clear to you. I can tell you how.
Here was seen a Prime Minister with a jaw-breaking dynamism coming forward and attacking Pakistan directly. And then came your statement. You, after that statement, were seen as a sympathizer of Pakistan.
How do
you don't have a problem with that?
How do you say sympathizer of Pakistan? Shut up. Who are you to come to that conclusion? Don't start branding me based on your ideas.
Watch a no-holds-barred interview with Sam Petroda only on Rajya Sabha television.
Today we are in Assam, the northeastern state which has 14 Lok Sabha seats.
The victims of partition will be accommodated and will be treated as Indian citizens in India, and that's exactly what this CAB is all about.
If the government says that there is no religious persecution, then how now this bill has come?
How did you people not take into accountance the struggle that we took for our own identity?
Why
Had your government chosen to set up rehabilitation camps here?
To know what's your take on the kind of citizen harassment that people are facing in lieu of NRC implementing.
Modi ji is giving us a new India. What is Rahul Gandhi's vision?
When will the Congress party move beyond Gandhi dynastic politics?
What will be your first step for the industrial development in Assam?
Welcome to Rajya Sabha TV, watching election special on Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. And now let's have a look at few of the key contests in Andhra Pradesh.
A close contest is reported to be on the cards between the TDP and the YSR Congress in Andhra Pradesh. The TDP is facing a vastly altered political landscape in 2019. In 2014, the party had the support of the BJP and the Janasena party of actor-turned-politician Pawan Kalyan. In 2019, however, the TDP is expected to find a much tougher battle on its hands. Among the key contests for the Lok Sabha seats is the one for the Chittoor seat. The constituency has favoured the TDP in the last 4 elections since 1996. Since 2009, the TDP's Naramalli Shivaprasad has been the MP. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu also hails from this district, which is what makes it a prestige battle for the party. The Machilipatnam seat is another significant one for the ruling TDP. The seat has alternated between the TDP and the Congress since 1999. In 2014, the TDP's Konakalla Narayana Rao won the seat. The TDP has managed to gain support in the region with its promises to get a deep water port for the residents. Chief Minister Naidu laid the foundation stone for the proposed port and has pledged that it will be commissioned by early 2021. The Rajamundry Lok Sabha seat was with the BJP in 1999. It was taken by the Congress in 2004 and 2009. In 2014, TDP's Murali Mohan won the election. While the BJP is trying to regain the confidence of voters, other parties are also focusing their energies here. In February, both BJP chief Amit Shah and Congress President Rahul Gandhi held political rallies here. Janasena founder Pawan Kalyan also celebrated his party's 5th anniversary with a massive public rally here. The Visakhapatnam Lok Sabha seat is held by the BJP. With a population of over 42 lakhs, the port town depends on an industrial economy. The TDP fancies its chances here by championing the cause of a special industrial zone. Its efforts got a further boost after the Railway Ministry approved a new railway zone called the South Coast Railway.
So clearly, a lot of keen contest and cards in Andhra Pradesh as well. Mr. Iyer, my straight question is: Pawan Kalyan's entry has Pawan Kalyan's entry made elections interesting in Andhra Pradesh, which looked more or less like difficult for TDP and possible for YSRCP?
Indeed, I would say, because he has now been described as the X factor.
Yes.
Because what has happened is the Kapu community, which has a lot of domination in parts of north coastal districts as well as in Guntur Krishna areas and maybe in pockets of East and West Godavari. This community has felt that they have not got their due, unlike the Kammas who have backed the TDP and the Reddys who have always been with the Congress. Chandrababu Naidu tried to take this Kapu community factor into account and did announce a slew of measures to see that they get better representation, and also even set up a special corporation, sort of a finance corporation to help the Kapu community leaders. But what has happened is the Kapu community has fell, and their presence in Telangana is also quite widespread. But unfortunately for the community leaders, the first experiment by the film actor Chiranjeevi did not succeed. But Pawan Kalyan's approach is rather different, where he has been rather sounding left of the center, and kept his options open, because he has not been criticizing Chandrababu Naidu much. But at the same time, he has not been too friendly with Jagan Reddy. So therefore, I think he is playing his cards closely, because Kapus themselves would make up for, say, about 25 to 30%. And therefore, whether all the Kapus will put their bet on Pawan Kalyan, I am not sure. But definitely, since he has launched his own party, which is the Janasena.
Yes.
So therefore, I think there is a lot of traction on what kind of performance one can expect this fledgling party to show in these elections. Because whatever it is, unless Jagan Reddy has enough numbers on his own, he will have to do business with Pawan Kalyan. And Pawan Kalyan has been very soft on Congress. One has to keep it account. Of course, it's a difficult time for Chandrababu Naidu because there is somehow a sense of feeling that the promises with which he was swept to power in 2014 in alliance with BJP has not worked to his benefit, and he has not been able to perform and deliver.
Right.
And the way he took a divorce from BJP, a year ago, has not exactly helped him in terms of gaining back the public support. He's rather seen as presiding over an administration that is seen as corrupt, and his party leaders have seemed to have bagged a lot of contracts and have not been able to show tangible results on the ground. And in fact, one of the reasons the Chandrababu Naidu decided to cut off from BJP because the belief is he was putting on pressure on the centre to see whether fresh cases can be revived against Jagan.
Okay.
So I think these are the background under which TDP is now fighting with a back to its wall.
Right. Is TDP really back to its wall, and where does Kapu votes play a big role? I mean, as Mr. Iyer said, they happens to be 25% in the state. So far, where did these votes go? Like, were they distributed between the TDP, Congress and other players? And now, since we have this en bloc going to, seems to be, or rather perceived to be, attracted by Pawan Kalyan. So, how beneficial, rather how important these Kapu votes will be?
The Kapus.
Kapus, yeah.
Yes. The Kapus is they speak out in a big way. But as Shekhar pointed out, a distinct minority of Kapus hold a lot of sway on the monetary resources in the state. Second, they have a huge number of Kapus which are in object poverty. So they feel that in the economic structure, they have not benefited in a big way. But in order to address their concerns, Chandrababu tried, the Chief Minister tried to give 5% reservation within the forward caste quota. So point here is he is trying to say that, look, I am able to come and deliver for you. But till now it has not cut much of the ice.
Right.
One. Second issue is, will they go en bloc or not? Depends upon how Pawan Kalyan will perform. My guess is that ultimate numbers may not reflect in favor of Pawan Kalyan, though he will consolidate the community's vote and extend beyond the community. He will extend beyond the community, especially in northern coastal Andhra Pradesh, where the Kapus dominate in a big way. And they are seeking political participation and representation in a big way in the state.
Which party has been so far preference of the Kapu community so far?
So far, not many of the Kapu leaders that you have. Most of the parties, either they have been silent voters or they have tried to judge both Congress and BJP. Congress TDP. And TDP, they have been swinging along. Right. But now they want to carve out a constituency of their own, their leadership of their own, become a dominant political force as it happened to Yadavas in Bihar. Isn't it?
Right.
That is the one issue that seems to be coming to my mind. Second issue here is that apart from the Kapus and Janasena, which may not reflect in the final numbers, my guess is if the YSR Congress and Congress come together, then there is a big fight on hand for Chandrababu Naidu at the end of the day when we go to polls on 11th.
Right. For more on this, we are joined with Professor K. Nageshwar, who is a political analyst. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Nageshwar. So, what are the dominant issues that you see would be there in this Lok Sabha polls? It will be the regional issues, considering they will be polling for the state assembly as well, or you think the national issues will dominate the discourse?
I think the fact that in Andhra Pradesh we have a simultaneous elections, I'm sure it will be a state issues only, and especially the center's injustice to the state is one of the poll blank which the TDP is trying to formally put in place. But more so, I think it will be a referendum on Chandrababu Naidu's government, or a referendum between Chandrababu Naidu and Jagan Mohan Reddy. It is almost like a presidentialization has taken place in Andhra Pradesh elections. It's more like a presidential contest between Chandrababu Naidu and Jagan Mohan Reddy. And it's a highly polarized political fight between two individual leaders, two political parties only. There may be other players like, as others have been pointing out, Janasena and all that. But Janasena, I don't think will really make a big impact in terms of winning the seats in the state legislature. It would perhaps will impact the chances of the either TDP or YSR Congress. So Pawan Kalyan is a kingmaker before elections. How far he will be a kingmaker after elections is something skeptical. But before elections, he has certainly become kingmaker because Janasena's voting percentages will substantially alter the electoral fortunes of either TDP or the YSR Congress in a sizable number of constituencies, especially in the Godavari districts and to an extent in the Krishna and Guntur districts, where there is a much close fight between TDP and YSR Congress.
Right, Mr. Nageshwar, you think that the main parties, national parties, main two national parties, Congress and BJP, will have no role to play in the assembly polls?
Almost negligible role. I'm sure the Congress was decimated in 2014 and the BJP would perhaps face the same plight. So that would be there, despite the fact that the Congress was thoroughly rejected both at the center and the state in 2014. In 2019, still Modi enjoys a considerable support in the country. So that may perhaps give some advantage for the BJP. But given the kind of anger in the among the people of Andhra Pradesh over the denial of the state, it is highly unlikely that BJP will show some impact. I'm sure in many of the constituencies, they will lose even security deposits. We have seen the fate of BJP during the Telangana assembly elections. So they had 5 seats in the earlier Telangana assembly, and that has come down to just 1. So in a state where they have a relatively better position, better cadre and a better presence, when they cannot win, it's almost a gone case in Andhra Pradesh. So in Andhra Pradesh, it's no longer a national parties have no longer a role to play. It's precisely a regional contest between the regional parties. So it's basically the contest between two regional settlers. And interestingly, unlike in the case of Tamil Nadu, where the Congress and the BJP are riding piggyback on the regional alliance, we don't even have that kind of a situation in Andhra Pradesh. The two national parties were compelled to contest on their own, and no regional party is willing to ally with them. So that shows the further plight of these two national parties.
Right. Thanks, Professor Nageshwar. So clearly, we have that the regional politics, regional issues would play a larger role in the assembly polls of Andhra Pradesh. Now, where are the figures and numbers stacked up in Andhra Pradesh? For more, we have a colleague, Tina Jha. Tina, what does the graphic says?
Rajat, remember Andhra Pradesh is the state that is going to witness simultaneous elections to Lok Sabha and also to the state assembly. That's why you see the 3 key regional players, the TDP, the YSR Congress and also the Janasena. They are vying to not just win significant number of seats in the state assembly, but also get a good number of Lok Sabha seats so that they can all, claim a kingmaker's position in case there's a hung assembly at the center. Let me first take you through data of the previous assembly elections in 2014. Just like this time, the elections to the Andhra Pradesh Assembly were held concurrently with the general elections. Looking at the number of seats that parties won, Chandrababu Naidu's TDP swept the 2014 polls, winning 103 of the 175 seats. The YSR Congress party won 66 seats while the BJP got 4 seats. The Congress failed miserably, winning no assembly seat, while the 2 remaining seats went in the kitty of others. But what we also need to look closely at is the vote share that was garnered by all of these parties. The TDP and the YSRCP, although they had a huge difference in the number of seats, as we told you, the TDP got about 103, the YSR Congress got just 66 seats. The difference in their vote share was next to nothing. The TDP got 44.9% of the votes polled, while the YSR Congress was a close second with 44.6% of the votes. The others were left far behind. Back to you, Rajat.
Thanks, Tina. So clearly it seems to be a very polarized contest over there, about a bipolar polity over there. And we saw that in graphics, the difference in the vote share of these two parties is just negligible, maybe just 0.5 to 6%. And difference in number of seats is just so huge. So you think a small swing would change picture, I mean, dramatically?
See, in this, 2 things need to be taken into consideration. When you see the difference between the YSR Congress voting percentage and the TDP voting percentage, and let's not forget, TDP also got benefited from the Narendra Modi wave that happened in 2014.
They were allies,
that's precisely why they got a huge backup. A lot of fringe voters voted for TDP because it is going to be the dominant political force there. Second issue is that BJP could not capitalize upon the, the aura of the Prime Minister or the Prime Minister candidate then in 2014, and they ended up with just 4 seats. And third is that now there is an anti-incumbency factor that is going to work against Chandrababu. Fourth, also, there is a feeling that YSR Congress, Jagan should be given a chance to see how would he be different. And mind you, the Reddys have been out of power for quite some time. And the Reddys, which is a dominant political force today, may get together to take on Chandrababu Naidu, who is largely supported with the Kamas, which is another dominant political force in the state. And because it's all caste-based force. And now, come to the Congress. Congress has seen the worst of it. Let us not believe that this is going to be, they have not even a representation in the State Assembly today. But today, definitely, it is on the revival mode. Let's see how well they will do. The worst for them is over. Today, my guess is that they'll definitely pick up a couple of seats here and there. And they will definitely decide as to, they would like to at least retain the bargaining chip as to who will become the Chief Minister there. Given a chance, they would never ever go with, though they went along with the Telugu Desam in TRS and in Telangana and burned their hands there. So here will they do the same mistake? They cannot, because they are pitted against each other.
Right.
And henceforth, my guess is, if at all the Congress picks up some seat, it will go to the advantage of YSR Congress. So this can be the case. And the BJP, which has certain pockets of influence, my guess is they will consolidate that. And mind you, the Prime Minister has done 2 rallies. 4 more are expected before the elections are going to happen. Amit Shah has been virtually going virtually to about 14 constituencies. And henceforth, my guess is BJP will also throw up some surprises. They may even go ahead up to touch the 10 seats, a double digit they may touch.
Okay.
And with an improvement in the voting percentage as well. And this is the first time in several years, BJP is fighting all alone and trying to try their luck and consolidate the party organization there.
Right. Mr. Iyer, my first, if talking the Congress party is concerned, did they erred in tying up with TDP in Telangana post? Because when they fight TDP in Andhra Pradesh, will that not give a very confused picture to the voters?
Yeah, I think Congress just did not commit a political mistake by taking the help of TDP to fight TRS in Telangana. I think the first of the mistakes they made was the way they went about bifurcating the state. I think that's the original sin, if I can I mean, original political blunder.
Right.
Because the way the whole thing was rushed through.
Yes.
And for a simple reason that they didn't want this Jagan Reddy to, take the mantle of Congress, as it were. So therefore, they thought of a situation where, with this, the pending issue of Telangana, they encouraged KCR's agitation initially. After all, KCR was part of UPA government. He was a minister in UPA who left UPA 1 to again revive the agitation. So what happened was Congress went about bifurcating the state in such a manner, and that left lot of, I would say, bad feeling on the Andhra side, because Andhra was left with no resources or no infrastructure rather. And ultimately, KCR managed to take the credit, because the proposal was mooted saying that since Andhra was anyway, Jagan was going to oppose the Congress, let's at least have Telangana by creating a Telangana state. But the game turned the other way, and KCR benefited from the creation of Telangana, and Congress lost ground in Telangana as well as it lost voice in Andhra Pradesh, because it was seen as the villain of the piece. So today, for the Congress to go back, I think this special category thing has become some kind of a, I would say, kind of a lost straw, because we have heard Congress President Rahul Gandhi saying, we will give you that category to Andhra Pradesh. In fact, that's a very interesting thing, because it was the very creation and the manner in which it went forward. Because if you compare it with the way other states were created, whether it was Uttarakhand carving out of Uttar Pradesh, or Chhattisgarh from Madhya Pradesh, or Jharkhand from the Grand Bihar, they were smoother exercises.
Yes.
Though Bihar was left with less resources after Jharkhand. Similarly, Madhya Pradesh suffered some amount of resource loss because Chhattisgarh is a mineral-rich area. So therefore, and Uttarakhand, of course, in Uttarakhand there was not question of mineral resources, but these bifurcations were smoother, easier, and there was a political consensus. But here I think Congress will have to travel little more distance till actually people forget the tremors and travails of bifurcation.
You think that bifurcation is still an issue in the elections in Andhra Pradesh?
No, it is not an issue in Andhra Pradesh, but it does, leave some, because the very
sour
fact that
taste,
today
bitter taste between.
Andhra Pradesh, once such a rich state, particularly coastal Andhra, is agriculturally, it's a treasure house. Now, for that state today to continue to look at center, it hurts the very Telugu pride which N.T. Ramarao once made a big cause. That Telugu pride is today compromised because they have to look to the center, to an external source for them to stand up again. Of course, there is a lot of pride, Telugu pride as they say, in the coastal areas, in the Andhra, and they feel that perhaps if the purse strings of center is loosened, and of course the money must also be properly spent, because that is also a bigger issue. The corruption has become a big issue in Andhra Pradesh today.
Right. Yes, Mr. Badrinath, you
see, two things I may add to what Shekhar was saying. One is the very edifice of Telugu Desam was built on non-Congressism.
Right.
With Chandrababu Naidu trying to align with the UPA as part of the Mahagathbandhan, has not gone very well with the cadres.
You mean the original voters as well, the cadres
voters, cadres, at least the low-level ones.
Right.
But it might be a political compulsion. I'm not disputing that at all. But how this will work out for Mr. Naidu is going to be a big question mark. Second issue, in terms of bifurcation. See, TRS got all the revenues along with Hyderabad. But the Andhra Pradesh, which was supposed to be the rice bowl, is now left with no revenues.
Right.
And most of, Hyderabad was built from resources of the newly carved out Andhra Pradesh.
Right.
And the capital city has gone to TRS. The Telangana. The second issue here is that the special category status is definitely a big issue there, with the TDP saying that BJP has tried to hoodwink us and things like that and put the blame on them. So, but point is they need to find some scapegoat. So that seems to be the case. My guess is that strategy may not work for the TDP.
Right. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. So clearly, the elections in these two states, whereas in Andhra Pradesh it will be a simultaneous assembly elections as well, will that be a reflective of the regional issues? That's all to see. Thank you for watching Rajya Sabha TV and Rajyanama. Thank you.